in those dark moments, a lot of thoughts go through your head, like, why am I here? No one cares. It's one thing to go to the grocery store and have everybody know you when you walk in. Hey Calvin, how are you? Nice to see you. Oh, that's the news guy. But to feel alone in those moments. To know that everyone says that they love you, but when you get down to the very fact that they love the guy on television, they didn't really know what I was going through personally. So a lot of negative thoughts go through your mind. And just last week, I was having a bunch of negative thoughts go through my mind. Getting up in the morning is a chore on most days. And I got an invitation to serve for breakfast with Santa. Some ladies asked me to be a part of their group. And I went to Port-au-Prince last weekend. And I must say that it completely changed my attitude about life, because we served 4,500 children who had a zest for life that I couldn't even imagine in my darkest moments. And I had more than they could ever imagine. I have wasted more opportunities than some Haitian children get in a lifetime. Most of us do. And so when I went over there and I started serving them, I began to cry, because it was a young girl who, for some reason, she was the happiest person. We went to this hospital in Port-au-Prince where many of the kids were suffering from cancer or had recovered from cancer. And this young lady was just so happy. They had a moment where she was walking like she was walking on a runway, and she was just moving her hips left and right, just so happy. And the director of the program came over to me afterwards and said, that young lady has colon cancer, and it's likely she won't survive. And so I thought, if she can be so happy in this moment, why am I so down? And it just changed and transformed my life in so many ways. Just looking at her and being around them. Because again, we waste so many opportunities here in America. Yet in Haiti, all they need is just one, maybe two. And they could have probably more than what we have. They are so gifted, they are so talented, but yet they don't have the opportunity. You know, Haiti has helped me more than I could ever help the country in any way. All of you have helped me in so many ways. In part because when I came here back in 2006, I really came here kicking and screaming. I really had no desire to come to Miami. My goal was to work at ABC News with Peter Jennings, and I wanted to be in New York. I wanted to be a national broadcaster. But I had an agent who said, Channel 10 is losing an anchor by the name of Dwight Lauderdale. And so they think that you could replace him. And I said, look, I'm done with local television. I've worked in Philadelphia, I've worked in Atlanta, I've worked in Dallas, I've worked in Evansville, Indiana, I worked in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm done with local television. And he said, no, you should give them a try. So I came down here and I fell in love with the city. And when I was on air one day, but they said, Dwight is not going to retire until 2008. So you have to be the morning anchor for 2 years. And so one morning, some Haitians from Port-au-Prince or from the northwest quadrant of the country, they were on a rickety boat. They came ashore to Hallandale Beach, and they tried to make it to land. Many of them didn't do it. And the others who actually made it were sent back to Haiti. But they made me get on the air and they said, we need to talk about this as breaking news. Needless to say, I'm from St. Louis. I had no idea what I was talking about when it came to Haiti. I had no idea why they were coming to Haiti. Coming to the U.S. I had no idea why they left Haiti. I barely knew how to pronounce Haiti and Port-au-Prince, so I didn't know much about the country at all. But after that moment, I went to my boss and I said, I need to go to Haiti to figure out why they came here. I need to figure out what's going on. I want to go and see for myself. His first response was, you're going to do what everybody else did. You're going to go there, you're going to show the bad parts, and you're going to come back here. And I said, I promise you I won't. He said, you can't go. So about a month after that, I came back and I asked him again, please, can you let me come there? Let me go to Haiti, let me figure out what's happening there. Let me go and see for myself. He says, write up a long outline, write me a one-page proposal as to why you want to go to Haiti. So I did. And that following night, I had a dream that I was walking in Port-au-Prince. I had never been there. Mind you, I'd never seen pictures of Port-au-Prince. I had a dream that I was walking in Port-au-Prince, and I went back and I told him, and he says, all right, you can go. So that was in 2008. 2008. And I did a documentary. I did a 1-hour documentary on Haiti. I went to many different parts. I went to Jacmel, went to Port-au-Prince. I didn't go north, but I went south, and I went to some other parts of Port-au-Prince. And I showed Haiti, the good, bad, and indifferent sides of Haiti. And when it aired at 8 o'clock, went off at 9 o'clock. The response that my TV station got from that documentary, they said they had never gotten a response like that from any community in South Florida ever in the history of Channel 10. Ever. So I know you were watching, and after that, the story was on Facebook, and it was all on social media, many of the stories from the documentary. And 2 years after that, I was promoted to the evening anchor chair at Channel 10. And thank you. And I know it wasn't, I would love to think that it was because of my good looks. No, I'm just kidding. But I know it was because you all were watching. And you all called in, and you all made sure you were tuning into Channel 10. And because of that, needless to say, any time that I've ever asked to go back to Haiti, the response has always been, when can we book your flight? It's a true story. Anytime. But let me just give you an example of how you don't choose to make history. Sometimes history chooses you. So after I did that documentary, remember that was in 2008. So all of a sudden, after going to Haiti and reading books and learning all these things about Haiti, January 12th, 2010, 4:53 in the afternoon, 7.2 earthquake strikes Haiti. Haiti becomes the center of attention for the entire world. I was in my kitchen making pasta for my children, and I get a phone call. You are on the next plane out to Port-au-Prince. Now, mind you, I went from being told no to being the face of the biggest story to happen in South Florida. It's amazing how God works. I'll give you another example of how Haiti has helped me in ways that I could never imagine. So, about 2 years ago, the guy who hired me from Philadelphia was let go, the president of Channel 10. And they hired the first Cuban American ever to be over an English-speaking TV station. And when he first came in, he kept calling me. He says, I want to talk to you. We need to have a meeting. Now, in my mind, you know how the mind works. The mind is racing to the negative. I'm thinking, man, this guy's going to fire me, man. This guy This guy, he's going to bring Rick Sanchez in to replace me. I know what he's going to do. He's going to hire a Cuban-American anchor to replace me. I'm telling you it's going to happen. So he was hired, say, in October. He sent me a message. I want to talk to you. I said, oh, I'm really busy. I can't talk. November comes. Oh, I really want to talk to you. I said, I'm just dealing with a lot of issues. I kept putting him off. And one day, my car was pulling into the parking lot and his car was pulling in, and I could not avoid it. He says, come up to my office. And at that time, I remember calling my mom. I said, Mom, I'm probably going to be working in St. Louis, so just get ready. There or somewhere in Montana, I'm going to be working. And I went up to his office, and he said, look, President Obama is doing a lot of things with my country, Cuba. He's going to probably open up relations, and it's going to be something very different than how other administrations have worked with Cuba. And he says, I grew up here in South Florida. I grew up watching Ann Bishop and Dwight Lauderdale, and he says, no one has ever covered Haiti the way that you have covered Haiti. So as a result, he says, I want you to cover my country, Cuba, when Obama opens up relations with the Cuban government. And so, true story. I wish I was making this up, but this is a true story. So there I was. He flew me to end that meeting, I said, no habla español. He says, I'm sure you'll figure it out. True story. So soon after that meeting, I hired a tutor. I went to Amazon.com and got all these books, and so I was at home practicing my Spanish. And but needless to say, I was over there when Obama was there. I was over there many times before that. He sent me to Panama City for the first meeting with Raul and President Obama. And then November of last year, Fidel Castro died. And guess who was in Cuba covering that story? Yeah. All because of my work in Haiti. Haiti has done more for me than I could ever possibly do for the country. And I mean that. And so I say to you, thank you. I don't want to keep you much longer. I don't have any words. Actually, I do have something that I actually brought my phone for a reason, because there's breaking news with President Trump.
Oh.
That will be your reaction after you hear this.
Yeah.
Apparently, the New York Times is reporting tonight that at a meeting in the White House, 6 months after President Trump arrived, he was giving a briefing on his domestic policy. And he was handed a document as to how many immigrants had received visas in the U.S. in 2017. More than 2,500 were from Afghanistan. The president complained about that. Haiti had sent 15,000 people. His response, they all have AIDS, he grumbled. This is what the New York Times is reporting tonight. The White House denies that ever happened. When it came to Nigeria, he said 40,000 had come here. He says they would never go back to their huts after they had seen the U.S. So my only wish, once again, the White House is denying that report, but we know what happened back in the 80s when that was a terrible rumor. That rumor, many could argue, helped kill the tourism industry in Haiti altogether, because it's one big lie, and we know that. But I wish that someone from the White House, I wish that the president himself could be here to see so many distinguished Haitians, Haitian Americans, to know that all of what is out there, the rumors, the gossip, the lies, untrue. I remember my first trip. I was talking with several people who had lived here in South Florida, and their perception of Haiti was that people really wanted to be in a condition. And I learned that when I was covering the earthquake. I remember walking through a field, and I had my reporter's notepad just kind of sticking out of my back pocket, and a little kid came up and grabbed it out of my pocket, and I turned to my interpreter and I said, "Ask him, why does he want my notepad?" And the interpreter said, "He's telling you in French that his school was knocked down because of the quake, and he wants something to write on so that he can prepare his homework so that when his school is rebuilt, he'll have it ready." So in that moment, I realized, I knew before then, but that solidified it for me that all of what people say, or what anyone says about their perception of Haiti is so wrong. And they're unwilling to go there to see it for themselves. They'll rather rely on some of the images that they've been fed over the years, as opposed to seeing it for themselves. Don't judge a book by its cover. And as I tell people all the time, I know Dr. Jean-Marie talked about how I showed the positive images of Haiti. It's because it's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. But even more, and look, I mean, I could go on and on and on about, and I know I should not, I know it's a late hour, I really apologize for talking so long, but I could go on. My favorite part, it's not the mountains, the endless mountains, it's what I love is a Sunday morning in Port-au-Prince, watching the little young children go to church. And I love seeing the adults who stop and get their shoes shined. And they take 5 more steps and they walk right back into more dirt and rubble. I'm like, why would you pay? But it is the pride of the people. It's awesome. Oh, I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my God, I love that. But people, and you know, I like to tell people, I'm not going to say much about Kinskov and you're going higher, that those homes, just unbelievable homes, beautiful homes. I mean, homes built out of the side of mountains. Oh, the view overlooking Port-au-Prince, forget about it. Anyway, don't tell anybody, that's our secret, we'll just go and visit. But it's the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. And I'll continue to go back and I'll continue to serve up those positive images so that we won't have comments coming from the White House like that in the future. I love you, thank you, merci beaucoup, passez bonne nuit.